Anakin Skywalker, the one destined by prophecy, was meant to become the most powerful being in the galaxy. However, his path was filled with temptations and trials that distanced him from his ultimate potential. As a Jedi, his mastery of the lightsaber and the Force was unparalleled, but his inability to control his emotions led him to the dark side. Transformed into Darth Vader, he became a feared enforcer of the Empire, yet his true power never fully materialized. The severe injuries from Mustafar drastically limited his abilities, leaving only a glimpse of what he could have been. But what if his story had been different? What if Anakin had overcome his internal conflicts and achieved the greatness that had always been promised to him? For this to happen, certain crucial events needed to change. The first and most important, his duel with Count Dooku on Geonosis. In this alternate reality, Anakin not only avoids losing his arm, but elevates his combat to an unprecedented level. As the battle progresses, his connection to the Force intensifies, unconsciously guided by the teachings of Qui-Gon Jinn, whose legacy seems to resonate within him. His normally impulsive style becomes more refined, blending the aggression of Form 5 with the fluidity of a true master. Dooku, surprised by his adversary's sudden evolution, is forced to fight with all his skill. Anakin matches him blow for blow with a precision that even the former Jedi Master finds unsettling. However, Dooku still holds the advantage of experience, and in a calculated move, launches a powerful Force attack that knocks Anakin momentarily out of combat. But before Dooku can strike the final blow, Yoda arrives. With the Grand Master's arrival, the battle takes a decisive turn. Anakin, recovering quickly, joins Yoda in a coordinated assault. The two Jedi, working in perfect harmony, corner Dooku, who now finds himself overwhelmed. The Sith Lord, realizing he cannot defeat them both simultaneously, has no choice but to retreat. Everything seems unchanged, but let us not forget that Anakin has not lost his arm. After the duel, Anakin begins seeking information about Qui-Gon, whose approach to the Force had always intrigued him. Through deep meditation and conversations with Obi-Wan, he establishes a spiritual connection with Qui-Gon's spirit, who reveals secrets about the true nature of the Force. The Clone Wars begin. Anakin Skywalker becomes one of the most important figures in the war effort. His battlefield skills are unmatched, and his strategic mind has saved countless lives. However, he is still haunted by the loss of his mother and the fear of losing those he loves. He seeks guidance from his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who encourages him to meditate and focus on the present. Anakin follows Obi-Wan's advice and delves deeper into the Force. He spends hours meditating and contemplating the nature of the universe and his place within it. He also seeks counsel from Yoda, who recognizes his potential and offers guidance. Through their teachings, Anakin learns to control his emotions and channel his passion into his actions. As the war progresses, his reputation as a warrior spreads throughout the galaxy. He leads daring missions and defeats his enemies with ease. However, he also becomes aware of the corruption and darkness within the Republic. He observes the hypocrisy and dogma that have stifled the Jedi's growth and commits to changing it. Anakin begins to question the Jedi Order's teachings and seeks a deeper understanding of the Force. Yoda gives him ancient Jedi texts, usually reserved for masters. However, he feels that, as the Chosen One, Anakin must access all possible knowledge to better prepare himself and fulfill his prophecy. These texts reveal truths about the Force and how to manipulate it in unique ways. Through these studies, Anakin discovers the true nature of the Force, neither light nor dark, but a balance between both. Anakin becomes particularly interested in the accounts of the ancient Jedi and realizes that the modern Jedi are very different from their predecessors. Instead of following the will of the living force as Qui-Gon Jinn did, they have become mere pawns of the Senate. With this new understanding, Anakin channels his power and influence to change the Jedi Order from within. Throughout the war, his leadership and vision inspire many Jedi who follow him in his mission to restore the Order's true essence. However, Chancellor Palpatine watches these changes with concern. He knows he needs a new plan to manipulate Anakin and lure him to the dark side. He understands that fear will not be enough. He must instill pure anger and hatred. With this in mind, Palpatine visits Padme's apartment and, with a treacherous smile, ignites his crimson lightsaber, piercing her chest. Padme falls lifeless to the floor. When Anakin discovers her body, he falls into a frenzy of rage. His pain is so intense that his forced scream echoes throughout Coruscant. Concentrating on his anguish and his connection to the Force, he begins to relive the moments leading up to the murder. In his visions, he sees Palpatine killing Padme. The image is clear, precise. He immediately understands that the Chancellor is behind it all. His mind, now focused and devastated, knows what must be done. He goes to the Jedi Council and reveals the truth. Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith they have been searching for. In Coruscant, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and Yoda locate Palpatine and Dooku in a secret hangar. The ensuing battle is brutal and relentless. Dooku, with his cunning and skill in lightsaber combat, presents a formidable challenge, multiplying the dangers for the Jedi. During the intense fight, Palpatine sees his opportunity. In a moment of distraction, he temporarily escapes and activates Order 66. Grievous begins coordinating the massive attack against the Jedi across the galaxy. Mace Windu falls first, slain by Dooku. However, Anakin, in an unprecedented display of power, defeats Dooku and faces Palpatine directly. His connection to the Force has reached divine levels, allowing him to unleash a power beyond any known limit. The final battle against Palpatine is devastating. Anakin channels all his rage, pain, and hope into a definitive attack that annihilates the Emperor, but the cost is terrible, the near total extinction of the Jedi. With Palpatine defeated, Anakin uses his newfound mastery over the Force to achieve something never seen before. He begins reviving the fallen Jedi, including Obi-Wan, bringing his companions back to life one by one. However, when he tries to revive Padme, he faces a cruel reality. She has been dead for too long, and his power, extraordinary as it is, cannot breach the veil of time. Anakin's pain is immeasurable. He then makes a decision that defies the very laws of existence. If he cannot bring Padme back, he will choose his own final fate. He develops the ability to traverse between the world of the living and the dead at will, able to return whenever he desires. In the spiritual realm, he reunites with Qui-Gon Jinn, who reveals even deeper secrets about the nature of the Force. Padme awaits him, and together they share a love that transcends life and death. But Anakin does not abandon the galaxy completely. When needed, he returns to guide his children, Luke and Leia, or to protect the new Jedi Order he helped rebuild. The Jedi separate from the Senate, returning to their ancient ways, focused solely on the will of the Force. Eventually, Yoda passes away from old age, and Anakin assumes the title of Grand Master of the Jedi Order. His legacy is not that of a fallen hero, but of one who conquered the limits of life itself, a guardian whose love and power knew no bounds. Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, fulfilled his destiny, not as an instrument of destruction, but as the savior who brought eternal balance to the galaxy.